Replacement by Neil James. 2 hours until the fight. An empty dressing room, the loneliest place on earth. The officials, promoters and cornermen have all gone. Now it's just Darren Still and his young daughter, Charmaine. Time alone, like he requested. He needs to be present, to focus on her, not the fight, not on Viktor Kovalyev. Sally's dad says you're fighting a bad man, Charmaine says, perched on his left knee. She threads plastic charms onto a necklace. He's not a bad man, sweetheart. He's just a boxer, like me. Darren's been repeating that line to himself since the fight with Kovalyev was announced. He almost believes it now. Lisa's never allowed Charmaine to watch his fight, and tonight is no exception. But he begged to see his daughter before stepping into the ring. Given his opponent, even Lisa couldn't refuse. A final request for a condemned man? Maybe that's how she sees it. Darren's hands aren't made for threading beads. His thick, calloused fingers stumble at the twine. But time with Charmaine is precious. And if she wants to make necklaces 2 hours before a world title fight, then that's what they'll do. Daddy, not just pink, she huffs, reaching into her treasure chest. Pink and purple. Sorry, darling, he winces as he shifts onto his right knee, the one that keeps locking. Across the corridor, Viktor Kovalyev is probably putting in some final pad work, honing the power that's flattened all 20 of his opponents. But one thing's certain, the giant Russian certainly is not assembling Hello Kitty necklaces. You promise not to fight anymore, Charmaine says, slipping into the same tone she uses when denied sweets. This is the last time, baby, for sure. Darren kisses the top of her head, inhaling the familiar scent of her shampoo. The first fighter got injured, so Daddy's filling in. They're paying me lots of money, so I can't say no. Will you win another shiny belt? You bet. And you can tell that to Sally's daddy too. A £5 million purse. Enough to secure his future and Charmaine's. The divorce was settled a year ago, so no matter how good Lisa's lawyers are, she won't see a penny of it. She told him he was crazy for taking this fight. Told him he'd get himself killed. Was that her bitterness talking? Or had she been reading the press? Daddy, look at the television! Charmaine points to the corner of the room where the muted screen shows Darren in the gym with his trainer, Gavin Clark. Darren watches himself on the screen, a smile creeping into both corners of his mouth. He's turned 40, but he still looks the part. Not as lean as a decade ago, but the square, stubbled jawline is unmistakable. His dark hair, shaved into the familiar fade, sprouts no grey. Not the greatest former champion, but surely the most handsome. Mummy says I can't watch you because you might get hurt, Charmaine says, turning away. That I won't get hurt. Anyway, this is just a recording of me and Uncle Gavin. Darren swaps the half-finished necklace for the TV remote. Charmaine hops down from his knee as he stands up to raise the volume. On screen, Sky's white-haired boxing correspondent gives the lowdown on the fight before the backdrop of Wembley's boxing ring, concern etched across his face. Kovalyev Carter would have been the fight of the year. The unbeaten British contender versus the unstoppable Russian champion. But after Francis Carter's injury, promoters Fight Time had two options. Either cancel the event and refund millions of pounds in tickets and pay-per-view, or find a replacement. That's me, roars Darren in the style of a ring announcer, his arms aloft. The replacement. But fans will surely feel shortchanged by the choice of Darren Still, the former champion whose comeback has been underwhelming. Darren scowls. Unbeaten in 3 years? What more do he want? Steele's last bout, a first-round knockout of Johnny Watkins, was only a month ago. He's popular, in shape and available, but hasn't faced anyone of Kovalyev's calibre in 10 years. Winning the heavyweight title tonight isn't something even his biggest fans would bet on. Most are just hoping he walks away in one piece. Clueless, snaps Darren. Turning off the television, he sits down. Soon, there'll be a knock at the door, and security will escort Lisa inside and take Charmaine home. Darren pulls his daughter into his body and plants a bristly kiss on her cheek. She squirms a little but turns towards him and kisses the end of his nose. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, darling. He hugs her even tighter. I will see you Monday, won't I? He hopes so. He really hopes so. The routine's the same. Hands wrapped, gloves on, and a final talk with Gavin. Darren's expecting tactics. The talk about taking it steady and feeling his way into the fight. But instead, his trainer steps in close, light bouncing off his bald head, glasses slipping down his nose. His hands are on Darren's shoulders. He's so close, Darren smells the coffee on his breath. The eye contact's intense, it's too much. Daz, I've been your trainer for a long time, yeah. You're not just a fighter to me, you're a mate. And I don't know how to say this, but if the going gets tough out there, don't be a hero. Darren stares. Can't believe he's hearing this. Is his trainer telling him to give up? You've got to think about Charmaine, Gav says. This Kovalyev, he's like nothing I've ever seen, mate. What? Darren shakes his head, pulls away, bangs his gloves together. He doesn't need this kind of shit right now. Even his own bloody cornerman's written him off. There's a knock on the door. It's time. He'll show him. The walk is long through the endless corridors and concrete underbelly of the stadium. His hood is up, his blue robe swaying with every step. A cameraman retreats, inches away from Darren's face. He's already seeing those big screens above the ring. And the noise builds, louder, and then the roar. He emerges under the white lights of Wembley, body humming with adrenaline. He sneaks a glance at the screens. Focused, intense, aging, like cognac. What he's lost in speed, he makes up for with ringcraft. All that crap Gav was saying, forget it. Kovalyev's just another young lion, he's the old master. That's how tonight will go. He'll pull it out the bag. For the crowd, for the legacy, for Charmaine. He climbs through the ropes, shakes off his hood and raises a glove. The ring announcer's voice booms around Wembley. Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, the beast from the east, Viktor Kovalyev! The lights cut and the music drops. Heavy, ominous, Darren stares ahead. But then he sees him. The towering frame as he prowls to the ring. The wide shoulders, shaved head and eagle tattooed chest. Kovalyev climbs through the ropes, eyes cold and dark. The same eyes that burned into Darren's soul at the weigh-in. He looks away. Instead he pictures Charmaine, her arms around him as he holds the belt aloft. One last time, Daz. One last time. Opening bell. And Darren bolts to the centre of the ring, bouncing on the balls of his feet, ignoring the throb in his knee. A quick jab thuds into Kovalyev's guard, then a shot right to the ribs. Darren feels lighter, sharper. Expectation ripples through the crowd. Stick to the plan, Daz, barks Gavin. Keep your guard up. Play safe. What sort of plan is that? To just survive, no chance. This is it. No one expects me to win, and I'll go out swinging. He explodes with a vicious combination. Hooks, jabs, body shots, and Wembley erupts. Steel, steel, steel. For 3 minutes, he dances high on adrenaline. Blow after blow hammers into Kovalyev's guard. The Russian barely responds, just flicking out lazy jabs. Fight smart, Daz. What you doing? You'll gas out, screams Gavin. When the bell rings, Kovalyev nods. Was that respect? His first sign of emotion. I mean, he is human after all, and human means beatable. Darren returns to his corner. First round, that's mine. You're being reckless, scolds Gavin, pouring water into Darren's gasping mouth. There's no way you can keep up that pace. The second round starts the same. Rapid fire and big bombs. Kovalyev seems rattled and unsure. But an old man can't sustain this pace. Every blow that Darren lands costs him. He's gulping at the air, forced to slow down. And that's when Kovalyev strikes. An iron jab slams into Darren's head, knocking him back like a branch. He stumbles, vision swimming, and a sledgehammer right follows. Somehow he slips it, but his back's burning on the ropes. Wembley is silent. The blows rain on his body, one after the other. He tucks his elbows in, taking everything on his arms and gloves. Get out of there! Get out of there! Gav again. But which direction? Which way is out? He slips to the side. A blur of red flashes past his nose. Then somehow, he's holding on. The sweat, heat and pressure of the clinch. A head burrows into his own, and Russian snarls in his ear. Break! Break! The referee. He's trying to separate them. No chance. Darren grips tighter. But they're wrenched apart. Darren throws desperate jabs, hitting nothing, trying to buy any time. The bell rings. Thank God. He's not sure how he makes it to the stall. Just that he's there. Gav's in his face, flinging water. Come on, mate, he says. You've got to think out there. You know what I'm saying, don't you? I've got this, Gav. Really? Yeah. I'm good to go. This is just like the Ernie Charles fight. The title, behind on all the cards, written off, out for the 11th, but knocked him out. Boom. Seconds out, round 3. And I had 2 options now. Drag this out forever or go out for leather. Fuck it, let's go. There'll be... He doesn't even see the punch. 1 minute he's bouncing across the canvas towards Kovalyev. The next, he's lying on it, blinking at the stadium lights. 1, 2, you promised not to fight anymore. A voice, soft and certain. Who let Charmaine into the ring? 3, 4. He pushes up to his elbows. I've got to get her. She's not there. The canvas though, it's covered in pink and purple beads. 5, 6. On one knee. There's no girl, no beads, just ropes and a ring. He can get up. He's done it before, but this is just pride. For the fans, for the guys on Sky TV, for what Sally's dad said. 7, 8. The stadium's restless, but he sees the ghosts. The old champions, the guys who stayed way too long, the slurred voices and the blank stares. 9. Maybe Gav was right. His knee stays down. 10. Ding, ding, ding. The referee waves the fight over. Kovalyev raises his arms. The crowd boo. Let them. 5 million quid in the bank. The past is gone. That night against Ernie Childs, that's his forever. But the future is his too. A healthy future. His and Charmaine's spread out before them like a sea of plastic jewels. On Monday, he'll pick her up from school. And she'll run to him like she always does. He holds her aloft and beams into her smiling face. And when he does, he's the champion.